In case you missed it, here's Dave and Cheryl's favorite moments of the week.
Finally found that train bridge at Two Creeks Conservation Area. Went there yesterday.
Oh, near Wheatley.
Mm-hmm. Remember last year, I think I was telling the story, we got into hiking for a bit and, went there and was trying to find it because when you Google that, that's like one of the iconic photos that come up. You Google Two Creeks Conservation Area. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Well, we couldn't find it. We walked around for 2.5 hours.
And didn't someone say it was like you had to turn right when you walked in and you guys went left?
And there's so many trails back in there. At one point, I thought, well, this is where we're going to stay. Wasn't
it super muddy the first time you went?
Terribly muddy. Our dog ended up pulling muscles in her back because she saw a squirrel or a rabbit and had a harness on, and she pulled me up the hill like I was water skiing. So she ended up pulling muscle. Anyway, went there yesterday. We did the same thing again. We thought, well, we'll go right, but we went sort of right in the center and went over this one metal bridge and wandered around for about half an hour, come out, and we're like, okay, we got to find our way out. And we did. And then we see a sign, 1839 bridge or whatever the date is, this way. Well, that would have been helpful to see the first time we went. So finally,
maybe because you complained about it, they put the sign up.
I don't know if that sign was there the first time. I'm going to say it's not. It probably was. But it was nice, and there was lots of people out there doing that. And they went out to Mud Creek Park in Chatham with the dog on the weekend. And if you haven't been in there a while, they've done a little bit of work.
Yeah, I took the dog there for a walk on Saturday. And yeah, they've got a lot of the path all ripped up, putting down, it looks like new gravel, and then they've widened it. And then I think they're probably going to pave it eventually, it looks like.
Flattened it, too, right? Because it was getting pretty bad.
In some spots there, yeah.
They haven't done the middle section yet. That might be tougher to get machines or equipment in there. I don't know how they're going to handle that little section.
Well, they've managed to do the rest of it. So I think they're just going section by section.
Nice to
because
see that.
People are still using it. And I would assume, during the week when they're there, they don't really want you walking around there. They're trying to work.
Yeah, I think it's closed off while they're working, but there was lots of people there on the weekend with it being open. Oh, and I've got a Thanksgiving, or just any time of the year, but Thanksgiving food hack.
Okay.
For you. So my wife likes to make rutabaga and sweet potatoes. She mixes them together.
Yes.
So I bought, well, first of all, I bought one and some sweet potatoes because we didn't have either. Thought we did. And so I go to the store and I get those. Well, the sweet potatoes started falling out of the bag. So I went to grab the sweet potatoes. The rutabaga fell on the floor and started rolling away. I was at one of the self-checkouts. And the lady goes, "Run away, rutabaga." So that's not the life hack, by the way. So Googled it because you could use a chainsaw on a rutabaga. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh, you need a really sharp knife, yeah.
Put it in the microwave for 2 to 3 minutes, softens it up, and it slices right through it.
Oh.
You're welcome. So much easier than trying to hack at that thing with an axe. Mm-hmm. Because when you bring an axe in the house, people are like, okay, what's going on here? Chopping up the rutabaga.
You got to, on the back, where you chop up the wood normally, there's a rutabaga there instead.
Thanksgiving dinner. Yeah, a little life tip for you.
Oh, good to know. Well, I know your wife gave my sister an apple pie for Thanksgiving because she was baking up a storm. I think she made too many pies. And it was funny, though. I get to my parents' house yesterday, and my one nephew, Jack, comes running out. And he's like, "I didn't eat the pie." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "I didn't. I just wanted to let you know." And I was like, "Okay, back it up. What's going on?" He's like, "Well, as we were leaving the house, I tripped on one of his brother's bikes. He fell, ripped his brand new pants, and fell with his arm into the pie." And so the pie was half of it was fine. The other half totally smashed.
So it turned into like an apple pudding almost.
It was like an apple pie crumble.
Sure.
It was still delicious. We all still ate it. Then when we're cutting up dessert, my brother-in-law's like, "Oh, I would like the piece that has the fist mark in it."
You got a whole new dessert now called Apple Smash.
And now it's time for
1, 2, 3, 4.
It's random.
Is that a fact?
Is that a fact?
4 random facts.
Well, here's a random fact for you I had no idea about. KFC had a sibling restaurant called Kentucky Roast Beef and Ham in the 60s. But they closed within a few years. They were unable to turn a profit.
Roast beef and ham. It sounds like Arby's.
Maybe it morphed into that. Somebody else came along and thought, "Oh,
It's able to do it a little better." Or maybe were they trying to compete with Arby's?
Bring in some curly fries. You're good to go.
Exactly. Get this. 20th Century Fox scheduled Alvin and the Chipmunks the Squeakquel to come out the week after Avatar because executives were worried Avatar was going to bomb and they wanted a safer bet for insurance. Well, don't think they needed that because Avatar, isn't it like the most successful film ever in history?
And at some point, they're
working on a sequel, aren't they?
It's been a long time. When Metallica was making its self-titled album in 1991, it was so stressful that 3 of the 4 members of the band got divorced during the recording, but it wound up being one of the best-selling albums in history, so maybe worth it?
Like best-selling album, divorce.
Making money and losing money at the same time.
And finally, over in Germany, there is a museum of bread. Has over 16,000 artifacts related to the history of bread, but no actual bread.
You need to have a bakery attached to this place. Why would you not, at the end, have all kinds of bread ready to go?
Because I'm assuming there's probably like ancient bread recipes. You think you would be like, oh, you could buy a recreated version of it right here.
Or just some buns on your way out the door. Here's your 4 random facts.
Today's
1, 2, 3, 4.
4.
So random.
Give the public the facts.
4 random facts.
Yum.
Science.
Not rocket science.
Check it out. I blinded us with science.
A study at the University of Michigan simulated the impact of the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs. And what they found was it caused a mile-high global tsunami. Within 48 hours, the wave had decimated every coastline on the planet.
Well, so hopefully nothing that size tries to hit us anytime soon.
Yeah, let's avoid that.
In bug news, a team over in Scotland just built an AI machine which can spot cockroaches and kill them with a laser. They also have one that'll do it to mosquitoes. However, knowing my luck, it would identify something else, and next thing you know, like
Blasting the television.
I was like, your cat's gone or something. Your pet turtle disappeared.
For that mosquito one, please tell me they're going to put that in the form of a lightsaber.
Oh.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, no, I feel like you'd end up hitting something else, and next thing you know, your house is burned down. Knowing your luck, Dave.
Hey, in Harry Potter news, a futuristic clothing company based in the UK say they're only a few years away from making a real-life invisibility cloak. It's both interesting and frightening at the same time.
And in other frightening news, Boston Dynamics promised they would never weaponize these scary robot dogs that they make. Have you ever seen these videos online? Well, they say they're never going to turn them into weapons. But in China, they've done the exact opposite. They actually came up with a way to drop those scary robot dogs from drones.
So they can drop them into, like, battle simulations, maybe.
I guess.
And you're getting chased by these robot dogs.
Yeah, it's not scary at all.
Hey, NASA has come up with an interactive map that allows budding astronauts to experience the sights and even the sounds of Mars. Users can hike across and around the red planet's crater using a virtual reality or a laptop on their phone. They can stand beside the Mars rover, even hear it working. How amazing is that? And they'll be able to stand on top of the rover at ground level, just like, say, a street view of Google Maps and stare across the landscape.
Google Maps for Mars. Mm-hmm. Like it.
That's the next thing.
And finally, do you track your steps at all, Dave?
Sometimes.
Like, I know you have a running watch, but do you wear it any other time?
There.
Yeah.
I don't track it necessarily.
Yeah. So, like, I have a Fitbit, and apparently I'm going to live forever. Because for every 2,000 steps you take each day, your risk for premature death falls by 8 to 11%.
That's significant.
So researchers found that walking more, accumulating up to 10,000 steps a day, is linked to a reduction in the occurrence of cardiovascular disease, heart disease, stroke, and heart failure, 13 types of cancer, and dementia as well. And better health isn't all about step count, though. They also found that walking at a faster pace can ward off those health concerns beyond the benefit of just the number of steps you get in a day.
So you just need to do that fast walk thing.
Well, it's kind of hard to do with my dog because he like stops every 5 steps to smell something.
My wife was walking ahead of me the other day, and I was trying to catch up. So I started doing that fast walk thing, scared the heck out of the dog. She jumped and was like, what is happening right now?
Are we running?
Well, she's a golden retriever that's a little timid at times. She was barking at a bag in the backyard yesterday, too, that had flown in because of the wind. So, and I mean barking like freaking out. And then she wanted in the house. She's banging on the patio.
It's a bird. It's a bird.
What's going on? Oh, it's just a plastic bag. The newest iPhone has a cool feature called crash detection that can tell if you're in an accident and automatically call 911.
So this was actually a huge thing. There was a crash, I think, in like Midwest America with a bunch of teens in the car, and they were reported missing. But the only reason they found them was because one of them had the newer iPhone, which had this thing, and it called 911 when it detected that they were in a crash. Now, so that's the good side of it. The bad side of it is there's a bit of a glitch because it's now calling 911 when people are on roller coasters.
Yeah, it uses something called high G-force exometer, which detects 4 types of crashes: front, side, rear end collisions, and rollovers. And it's happened at multiple parks since the iPhone 14 went on sale about a month ago.
And here's the thing. Once the call goes out, you only have 20 seconds to cancel it. So obviously, if you're in the middle of a roller coaster and it detects that big drop, the first big drop, you're not going to be able to stop it before the roller coaster ends.
Yeah, because there's an alarm, but if you're not hearing it as everyone's screaming.
Yeah, exactly. You're in the middle of a roller coaster. So first responders have responded to a number of amusement parks. Not clear if Apple is planning to do something about this, but there is an easy way to avoid it. So if you are headed to Canada's Wonderland or Cedar Point and you have one of these new iPhones, just put it in airplane mode while you're waiting in line before you get on.
I mean, you might forget to take it out of airplane mode for a while, but you're at an amusement park. You don't need somebody calling you.
Enjoy yourself.
Yeah, have a little bit of fun. Put it in airplane mode and avoid the 911 calls. We've got multiple animal stories for you this morning.
Our first one is about a rescue mission, which is called Operation Noah's Ark. It was launched to catch, cage, and ferry almost 300 birds off of the hurricane-battered Pine Island down in Florida.
We have a 4-boat operation going on today to rescue 100 cages of birds off the island before they die.
We're going to try to crate up as many parrots as we possibly can, get them to safety.
I have a 5-foot fence around the property, and the water was a foot over the fence. So if we had not captured all the birds and put them in crates and put them 12 feet up, we would have lost all of them.
So they were able to save all those birds.
Such good news.
The second story, a couple in Ohio came home to find a wild turkey fluttering around their house. So listen to this as animal control captures the turkey in a net, but then wait for it, the turkey jumps out and leaves the same way he got in.
On video just in case we need it for our home insurance.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the window broke. It flew through the window. That poor turkey, though. Oh, I feel so bad for it. It's probably hurt.
At least if we can get it outside.
Oh, God.
Did it just run out? Oh, it's out.
So they just needed to ask him to leave. He was like, they caught him and they're like, oh, you don't want me here? Okay, bye.
Except it looks like he went through the top pane after he'd come in through the bottom
Oh,
pane.
so he completely destroyed the window.
Windows are
Well, now
right
you can
off.
get a completely brand new window. You're welcome.
And she was recording it, as you heard her say, well, you know, in case we need this for insurance. So insurance is like, yeah, right.
You just smashed the window. No, a turkey flew in.
Well, now they can see the turkey's exit.
I love this story. A guy out in Washington State was dog sitting for his sister-in-law and had a camera running when he face planted trying to get her 4 10-week-old Rottweiler puppies into their pen.
Come on, puppy. Come on, puppy.
The entire world has been making fun of me.
They're very lovable puppies, and they just want to be wherever you are all the time.
So they kept running out with him before he could get the door closed. So he makes a run for it and just completely eats it.
And then if you watch that video, look it up online, they come up to him, hey, you all right, man? Hey, you want to play? Everything good? I'll listen to it one more time. Come on, puppy. Come on, puppy. Oh, man, poor guy. All right, so we have no shortage of squirrels. I mean, I know it's Crow Fest. We could have even called it Squirrel Fest here in Chatham, Kent. Well, check out what happened to this guy.
This guy in Scotland showed a video after a squirrel got stuck in his toilet.
Come on, get out! Get out! How did I get you out? Come on, pal, let's go. Why are you in there? Come on! No, that's such a shame. That's such a shame. This way. This way. Whoa! Bye.
Yeah, they used a broom handle in the bowl.
Because it was like he couldn't get any traction. It was just...
I don't know. Was the squirrel just thirsty? And I mean,
I wonder if he jumped in the window and then fell in. the toilet was up.
Very possible. I just love his reaction.
Come on, get out! Get out! How did I get you out?
Know this, that super glue was actually used by medics in Vietnam to close wounds. That's actually true.
Yeah, because now I think there is actually like
medical glue that they use. Yeah. Well, that saved a lot of lives at the time, but I don't know about using it in the course of a wedding.
Brides are now using super glue on their wedding day to temporarily pin their ears back. Apparently, hairstylists in Brazil just did it for a bride who wanted to wear her hair up in a bun. She shared the video on Instagram. It's now been viewed more than 20 million times. And apparently the bride doesn't wear her hair up very often because she says she has big ears that stick out and she's very self-conscious about it. And so she told the hairstylist, you know, when I do wear my hair up, I'll just put a little dab of super glue on the back of my ear and then sort of like push it back so it sticks to her head.
I can't see this being a great idea for your skin in the long run.
Well, that's why I'm like, maybe instead of super glue, you should use the one that they do have for closing up wounds. I feel like that's a little bit safer for your skin then.
Some people think it's genius. Others just think it's ridiculous. And she said she's not the only one to do it. A few women in the comments said they've already done it too and plan to do it in the future.
And I know, you should all be about love yourself the way that you are, blah, blah, blah. But if it's something you're self-conscious about and you can do something to, feel better about it, go for it.
Just don't know about the application of super glue.
Maybe next time go to the pharmacy and ask if they have the glue for closing up wounds. Because I feel like that's more designed to be on your skin, a little safer, a little less harsh. Although I was using super glue the other day. A little piece came off my headphones. And I accidentally got some on my fingers and it got stuck to something else. And I was like, oh, for the love of.
Yeah. So I can't. Using super glue, but even the medical grade glue, it's meant to close the wound and heal it. Then you've got to get something that would dissolve
nail polish remover,
the glue afterwards.
Nail polish remover.
I wonder does it work on the medical grade stuff too?
Probably. It's acetone. You have to have the stuff with the acetone in it.
Yeah.
That's what gets rid of it. Because I remember, because I got super glue on my fingers one time at home, and I was like Googling what to do, and they said, yeah, go just grab your nail polish remover. So most women have that kicking around the house, or if you're into nail polish.
And it seems like a lot of extra steps to take. We've got several examples of law and disorder for you this morning, including this first story about how someone went to a police station in New Jersey looking to get a job. They were looking to hire a security person. So 27-year-old went in by the name of Ziyama, and it probably wasn't the best idea on her part because it turned out that she's a wanted felon.
Yeah, maybe you shouldn't be applying for a job as a security guard at a police station.
Yeah, when they ran her name, they found out she was wanted in Pennsylvania for failing to appear in court on some fraud charges, and also had 10 bench warrants out in New Jersey for not appearing on a bunch of other violations. On top of that, they found 2 stolen credit cards when they arrested her, so they tacked on some more charges. She's looking at some serious jail time. No word on how she did in the interview, though.
No, I don't think she's going to get that job.
Yeah, probably not. No callbacks.
In our second law and disorder story, we're headed down to Memphis, where police are on the hunt for a burglar who broke into a car, took a bunch of stuff, including several credit cards, a ring worth about $500, and a Gucci diaper bag valued at $1,400.
Wow.
Yeah, didn't realize that diaper bags were that expensive. But apparently the suspect, it appears to be targeted in that they knew what they were looking for, that it wasn't just a normal diaper bag, because apparently they showed up again 3 days later trying to break into the same car again.
Thinking maybe they had replaced the bag, perhaps.
Or, yeah, and some other stuff. So this time, though, they weren't successful, but they do have a blurry image of the suspect now. So far, they haven't made any arrests, so they're still on the hunt for the person with a very fancy diaper bag.
So this is a wild wedding story. And I mean, I used to DJ weddings at one point in my life. And you get people that have one too many, and sometimes arguments can start. Well, this one is way beyond. So someone got recently married at a very nice golf course near Scranton, Pennsylvania. And they've actually held PGA events before. It's pretty swanky, right? So during the wedding, a husband and wife who were there as guests got into an argument. And then the wife started walking out onto the course. She was in a bit of a huff, so took off. While he decided to follow her in his car.
So not even like go hop in a golf cart. No, jumped in his car and was driving on the course.
Yeah, he drove his vehicle across the 18th fairway across the cart path, and at some point he left the path and drove straight into a creek on the 17th green because I imagine it was pretty dark. There's a photo of his car straddling it with the back end up on some rocks, front end planted into the ground on the other side. Someone called police, as you can imagine, and they wrenched his car out. The most shocking thing is, though, he was sober when the whole thing happened, so he didn't end up getting a DUI. The course isn't pressing any charges either, but they're probably not too popular, I would imagine, with the bride and groom. Now,
no, because the bride and groom now, they've been banned from holding any events there.
So they've banned them from being able to go to the course for a while.
I don't think they're going to be friends for much longer.
I wonder what they gave as a wedding gift. Hopefully it was something good.
Paying for all the damages they cause on the course?
Well, if you're someone that likes to go a little faster than maybe the posted speed, eventually you might not be able to do that.
The National Transportation Safety Board in the U.S. trying to get car manufacturers to add a feature that would prevent people from breaking the speed limit. Now, cars have had what they called governors for a long time. That's where you can't go over a specific top speed. And it's usually pretty high. Like in the U.S., it's 155 miles an hour. It's like 200 and some kilometers an hour. And this new feature, though, that they're talking out, would use GPS to pinpoint where you are, check the speed limit, and then prevent you from going over it. Apparently, New York City is testing this out with 50 government vehicles. If you hit the speed limit, an alarm goes off, or the accelerator will just cut out until you slow down.
Now, there is an override button that lets you speed for 15 seconds in case you need to merge, as you're coming onto a busy highway.
Or sometimes, like on the highway, I'll be passing a transport, and I just want to get by them because maybe there's someone speeding behind me, so I'm trying to get out of the way.
It's rather interesting. Here's the deputy mayor of New York City talking about it.
So I'm pressing the pedal, but you see actually the number's going down. It's called a dead pedal.
We need to be at the forefront. There's no reason today with so much technology and so much awareness that anybody should die at the hands of an automobile.
Here's the thing, though. I'm going to tell you a story. In my car, I have GPS. And sometimes when you flip over to it, it'll show you what the speed limit is. But something has gotten reset in it, and I've reset it a couple times, but I always forget how to do it again. It tells me I'm going over the speed limit because it thinks it's in miles per hour and not kilometers per hour.
Yeah, how many vehicles may end up with this kind of issue?
So what happens with that? Because it'll be like it'll go red when you're going over the speed limit. But it thinks that, the speed limit is 55 miles an hour, and it's like, no, and it thinks I'm going 80 miles an hour, and it's like, no, I'm going 80 kilometers an hour.
Wonder if it could lead to accidents. Well, one expert says he expects most people won't like the idea, no kidding, but he thinks there's a very good chance new cars will all have it someday.
You've been listening to Dave and Cheryl's Favorite Moments of the Week.